economic development which allows you to have opportunities in life, get an education and hold down a job and rise to positions of responsibility within your community in its engagement with the broader society, then I think it makes it more difficult to maintain those historical, traditional connections that people have in these places.
So in this Gulf region of outback Australia, where do you see these economic developments coming from? Where are the opportunities for Aboriginal people?
Well, I think that people develop economic opportunities which present themselves in mining and also in environmental management work, which is an important challenge for regions like this, which are environmentally sensitive and also in some respects unspoiled in some parts of the Gulf country. Also industries like pastoralism. Aboriginal people through organisations like the Carpentaria Land Council are growing today to be the biggest holders of pastoral land in the Gulf country. The idea that Aboriginal land and pastoralism are necessarily at odds with each other, I don't think is supported by that fact. There's plenty of pastoral leases which are run today by Aboriginal organisations, Aboriginal people employed in them, and maintaining, in a sense, both parts of these identities together.
And what are some of the challenges for Gungalita people and Aboriginal people in the Gulf moving forward into the future?
Well, the challenges are building the capacity within ourselves and the financial revenue for us to start moving it forward to be big players within the Gulf, not just living off the lands and that. Gulf is 80% black, 10% white, 10% own 90% of the land. So once you own businesses, you dictate who you employ, you dictate where you sponsor, or how generous you are with the money and whatnot. So within our group, our vision is to build a great financial institution, a big bank account, so we can start buying all our lands back, to take over lands and management, to employ our own, to put into trust funds, to develop the next leadership, to educate our next generation a lot more, to buy businesses, to employ most of our own, and to thrive as a group. So to build a sustainable economic future within the Gulf, where kids don't have to say, I'm going away to the city, I'm going this mainstream, that mainstream, so I can get ahead. Once I get educated within the working area, then I'll come back and rein it back down to the community. But for kids to finish school and come back to the community, because all these other opportunities, at the moment we're just based on cowboy work, being a ringer in the stations, or being a machine operator. Not everyone wants to do that, so people get bored. With bored, you get depression. Depression, you get high suicide rates. So if we can change, everyone mightn't be a millionaire in the Gulf after a vision is fulfilled, but our whole social values will change. Our lives will be longer, so we won't have the highest death rates at a young age. Suicide rates will be down, because we can develop so many opportunities. Doctors, bloody lawyers, CEOs, bloody managers, council workers, whatnot, right across the board, then you're reaching out to a wider group, and people are going to be interested in this and that. I don't want to be a cowboy, I don't want to be an operator, but I like this, and I'm pretty good at this. I'm one of the best in the Gulf of this. Better than my uncle at being an operator. I'll never be a better operator than him. So with that, people are going to be more happier, their morale is boosted, and they're going to go to bed earlier, not going to be on the streets bumming around or being depressed, and we'll change the whole face value of the society in the Gulf as we know it, and hopefully be a role model for other groups to follow.
This might be a bit of a personal question, but I'm interested nonetheless. You've been coming here for a couple of years now. How do you think your fieldwork, your engagement with the community in the Gulf, with the people here, Has it changed you? Has it changed your perceptions of the world, your perspectives on the world?
I think that you can't, anthropology involves developing close relationships with people, and I think relationships always change you. And I think coming up here from my background in the city, growing up in Canberra and Sydney, it's changed the way I understand this country and what it means to be Australian, and to inherit and relate to this complicated colonial history. And I guess it's also changed, in some ways, it's changed the way that I see the land. I mean, I don't think you can work closely with people who have such powerful and complex relationships and connections, spiritual connections, other kinds of connections with country, and not reflect on how non-Aboriginal people, settler descendant Australians or people with more recent migrant ancestries, how they also relate to the land. I mean, as an Australian, how I see country is also something that I've been encouraged, I think, to reflect on by my engagements with Aboriginal people around the Gulf.
How do you see the role of anthropology in the Gulf country today?
It's a noble career, anthropology. You're working to help other people out to better their future and put them in a better place than they have been. So my father worked with anthropologists also, and I work with anthropologists, and mainly they're documenting our history, our connection to lands, trying to help preserve what's important to us as traditional people of our areas. And they get a reward of contentship when things go right for the groups that they put their time and effort in, blood, sweat and tears. So it's a noble position, I feel anyway. And anthropology probably taken all sorts of directions, but the anthros I've worked with, action men in the field, we're coming from behind, trying to get in front, and it's a lot of dedicated hard work that we seem to get through.